And but if we can change one life, we've made a difference, haven't we? Rick, if we've changed one life, we've made a difference, have we not?
Absolutely.
Well, we've made thousands of differences to date, probably hundreds of thousands, if dozens, maybe hundreds of thousands of lives have been changed. I mean, it's so hard to tell how many people that we've actually reached. I was speaking to a gal today. I was down at the local pub there, and you got to get out to the local pubs when you live in this area. That's what this area lives off of, is beer and alcohol and other beverages of that sort. So we got to be in there. And, well, it looks like we are getting some feedback from Amanda. Amanda was supposed to be a special guest tonight. She's going to do a special guest appearance. We were glad to have her. Unfortunately, our broadcast ended up almost a full hour and a half late. So she was unable to. She's a busy person, as most of us are. I could barely find time to continue to try to work through the technical issues, which we're hoping we're getting better at. But we don't know, because it's tough to know without hearing from you. So we need you. We need you online. We need you watching. We need you telling the grandmas and grandpas and the aunts and uncles, and we need everybody to do their part and spread the American Way campaign for president agenda like the HIV in Africa in the early 80s, right? Infect everyone with what the agenda and what it's about, right? We all know what we've done here. We've got Hershey's on board, right? What's Hershey's going to do? But Rick, you know what Hershey's is doing, don't you? The chocolate wall, they're blocking Canada off. You remember?
Oh, yeah.
You negotiated the deal with them.
Oh, yeah.
I was busy that day. He had to do it. God bless him. He was sick, so he wasn't able to make it to work. But he found time to get with Hershey's. He tells Hershey's, I mean, we all know what's going on, right? I mean, we know Donald Trump, and he's focusing on the South, and he doesn't want the illegals coming in and taking the jobs away from our stupid and our drug addicts and the alcoholics. So he wants to just close the southern border so we can give those jobs back to those people, right? We know what that does. When we give those jobs back to those people, it reduces welfare. It reduces the free insurance, right? That cuts back taxes. Okay? Everybody's making more money. People are happier. The economy's better. We're more protected. We're stronger. We're moving towards being the greatest country in the world again. We're first, but it's like 1.1. We're not everybody says we're the best. So that's what we're trying to improve on that 0.1% of the world that doesn't believe we are the greatest. And we all know we are. Rick, what you're going to want to do there is just click on the link that I provided. This is good stuff here. Rick is actually going to click on the link that he should be able to find on Facebook there. If he goes, if you just look for The American Wayne, and if you found me, you'll just want to click the link, and it should take you right to the broadcast. Yeah, let's see if we can help you. We're going to try to help him, because that's what we do. We help. Let's see. Oh yeah, sure. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to scroll down here. If you look, and if you come over here. You got 69 notifications, so good for you.
Still, I don't get on Facebook.
So we're going to look at these. And then if you look at this, you're going to come down here, and you're going to look for me. So, yeah, here, I mean, this is, wow, what is going on here? Ooh, boo-boo-boo-boo-doo. Well, you know what? Let's try this.
I got you from right there.
Let's try this.
I got you from down here.
In French, timeline. In French posts. We're going to look at some posts. So we're going to Wayne French posts, and then from there, what we do is we look at here, and we found me. So that's good. That's important. we're gonna go back to me because we didn't have much success the first time we were there. So let's just try it again. We do follow. I mean, here it is. Look at this. We just had to refresh. We got it now. We're in, folks, over here. So we're going to add another viewer. We're actually adding my assistant as a viewer, which is great.
I need to practice it.
Okay, we've got my mom and my wife in the other room. They're in the green room. They're in the green room. They're in the green room, and they're preparing for a couple of. They're preparing for a couple of interviews later. And we just got our first question. It's just trickled in. Great to know we're actually reaching the masses this evening. And it's one of those tough questions that I asked for. And I can't shy away. We're gonna go live to one of the listeners. We're gonna bring him online. We're gonna take a call. We're gonna take a call tonight. First time we've done that. Hi, who do we have on the phone here this evening? Yeah. Okay, well, apparently they didn't want to go live. It was like a trick phone call, I think. They swore at me and they hung up, and we get a lot of that. We have them removed. We don't need them. They're not important to us. And we're about people that want to get things done. We're about people that want to start progressing America forward. I think we've got the caller back on the line. Is that correct? Hello, do we have the caller back on the line? Hi there. How can I help? Hey, this is the American Way. How can I help you guys tonight? Go ahead. Sure, go ahead. I'm listening. All ears.
How many viewers do we have, actually?
Well, right now, what we've got. Well, now you guys are going to you're going to be shocked by this because there are a lot of people. There's all three of you. All three of you are watching right now. Go ahead.
So you think if you become president, are you going to bring back slavery?
Wow. And that's what we do here at the American Way campaign for president is we answer the tough questions. You probably thought I was going to move in a different direction there, and I am. We will do what the great citizens of this country want. We'll take a poll. And if that poll shows within a reasonable, give or take, percentage points allowance that slavery is wanted, then we've got to give the people what they want. Do we not, Rick?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You have to give the people what you want. That's what we do. Thank you so much for the call. Any other questions tonight? Okay. Well, you know what? Sure. Go ahead. Listening. Yeah.
What's your stance on Hillary Clinton?
Oh, wow. That will take the tar.
I know she's a liar, but what do you think about her?
Hillary Clinton?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Hillary Clinton or Hillary? Or they're the same person. It don't matter. I'll tell you what I think of her. Hillary Clinton. Yeah, she's not even really a woman. I know because I bumped into her once inappropriately in the hall up at the White House there when Bill was in office. He's just wrapping things up with Monica. I was going to meet him, and we were going to talk about a trip to Vegas that weekend, and I bumped into Hillary in the hall. She was like 182 at that point, years old, that is. And I had the opportunity to speak with her, and she says this, "Listen, Wayne, what we need to do is what I've always done, and that's nothing, and I'll continue to do that, because it's gotten me this far, and I'll probably keep getting further along, because that's what happens," right? And I looked at her, and I go, you're about as smart as the pet rock that a bunch of morons were tricked into buying back in the 80s, Hillary. And not only that, but your vagina looks a lot like a penis. I told her, and we never spoke since. I hope that answers your question. It's about all I've got to say on it. Her Adam's apple is bigger than Adam's apple, and we all know who Adam is, and he's got a massive one. So, any other questions here tonight, caller?
Colin, do you have a question?
This is a
My
demonstration
question
of Wirecast.
What is your
Excuse me. I would prefer when we are live here that we do use the official language. Was it sullen?
Hey, American Wayne.
Yeah.
We have one more question.
Sure.
What is your stance on Donald Trump building a wall to block out Mexico/Canada?
Interesting question.
Wait, hold on.
Do you believe the United States should be isolated from Mexico and
This is a
Canada?
demonstration of Wirecast.
So it sounded to me like it was about a 25-part question, Cullen. And let me do my best at responding to all 62 points of the question itself. First, we already know the American way is not about allowing illegals into the country, sucking the terrible jobs away from our stupid, our drug addicted, our alcoholics, so then the rest of us productive Americans have to pick up their slack through taxes and free programs this and free programs that, like Barney and Billary and the rest of the morons want to put in place, right? We just want to get rid of the illegals, sucking the terrible jobs from the horrible people, give the horrible people the terrible jobs back, eliminate the taxes that are in place because of the illegals taking the jobs from the terrible, making the economy stronger, making the individual stronger, making the country stronger, and getting things, Cullen, back to the way they ought to be, the American way. Now let me tell you, here's what we're going to do. We're going to change things. Okay? We can't stand by like Hillary Clinton has for 572,000 years and do nothing and think that this is progress. We can't keep doing that. We can't be like Fred Sanders or Blarney Rubble or whatever the hell the guy's name is and say, we'll just make everything free, right? That's basically turning the entire country into the poor. When you just start giving everything away for free, because you're going to make everybody poor, because the people that are actually making a little bit of money are now going to have to give the little bit they have to the poor because of increased taxes, because now we've made everything free. And that's just not going to work, is it?
This is a demonstration.
Are you still on the line, Colin?
Okay, thank you, Wayne. We're gonna have one more caller.
Oh, well, I guess I didn't realize that I was actually running through my caller manager system here, but yeah.
That was an unbelievable answer.
Yeah, if you don't mind holding, I actually have another call coming in, and we're going to take that call. Hold with me for just a moment. And they hung up. That's too bad, because they were about to become famous, which is really too bad for them. And then it does appear that we did lose connection with the caller management system. Oh, we got it coming in now. We're going to take that call. Yes, hello. Thank you for calling. The American way is stronger than ever. We're taking calls. We're answering the tough questions today. Who do we have on the phone here? Yes, hello. Who do we have on the phone? Do you speak English? Is this a Mexican?
Oh my God, am I actually on here?
You are on. You are on. Who am I speaking with, please?
This is a demonstration of
My name is
Wirecast.
Brandon Meyer.
Brandon, not the Brandon Meyer. Tell me this is not the Brandon Meyer.
This is the Brandon Meyer.
My goodness, let me tell you, Brandon, what I know about you, young man. First of all, congratulations on your high jumping skills. I heard you hit, was it 6 feet?
6'2".
6'2", the length of my wiener. Good for you. You can actually high jump over my cock, Brandon. I'm proud of you. Listen, here's what we're gonna do. we're paving the way for pioneers like you that can jump high and that can run fast and aren't black, because that's what this country is lacking, right? White people that can do those things. And we're moving in that direction. And we already found out tonight that if the American people want slavery, that's what we'll give them, right? And it doesn't even matter, right? It isn't about color, because if the American people say we want everybody to be slaves, we'd make everybody slaves. I mean, we all know that won't happen, right? But we would do that if that's what the American people wanted. So this has nothing to do with race. This is not a race thing. This is about giving the people what they want. Now, Brandon, what was your question this evening?
My first question is pretty simple. We are like $18 trillion in debt. I want to know what the American way is going to do about that.
Brandon, I'm glad you asked that question, actually, because this is something that tugs at my heartstrings every morning when I wake up. I think to myself, what in the world are we going to do about this $1 trillion debt that stares into our souls, every one of our souls? It stares at it. Every morning we wake up, we don't even know if our children are going to have a country to wake up in the morning because of the debt, right? So I've already spoke to a gentleman. His name's Dale Meyer, actually. Funny, Brandon, that you called this evening. I spoke to Dale, and Dale has agreed to personally kick the shit out of every single country, their leaders, their armies, everybody in those countries that we owe, each and every one of them. He's going to beat the fuck out of them. They're all going to owe us, because they're going to have to get medical service over here when he's done with them, because there ain't a country in the world that's going to be able to fix them when he's done tearing a hole in their ass like the honey badger would to a rattlesnake, if you know what I mean. Brandon, thank you so much for that question. Next question, please.
All right. My second question, and this one is kind of heavy loaded. This one...
Heavy loaded like a... Never mind, go ahead.
What are we going to do to fight terrorism and eliminate terrorism from America?
Yeah. Well, Brandon, another great question. And I think we already know a lot about what I'm doing to start making this country stronger. I've teamed up with Hershey's. Hershey's has the best chocolate in the world. If we can't build chocolate walls that would secure this country from terrorists, what we'll do is we'll slow them down.
Especially those Canadians.
Rick, go ahead.
Especially those Canadians.
Especially the Canadians, right? I mean, think about it, Brandon. The Canadians have been tobogganing their way into this country. It ain't even about terrorism. It is, but it ain't. The Canadians have been tobogganing their way into this country for so many years, and Donald Trump is so nearsighted that they don't understand the northern border is the unprotected border. There isn't a piece of wall blocking Canada from the U.S. where there is thousands of miles of wall along the south border. So what we're going to do, Hershey's has very graciously said, as soon as I am sworn in as the next president of these great American way
demonstration of Wirecast.
States of America, they are going to start building that wall of chocolate. And what we'll do is we'll throw that chocolate, we'll load it into chocolate guns, Brandon. We'll load it into chocolate tanks. We'll melt it down. We'll turn it into slick, delicious, chocolatey syrup you would lick off a and we're gonna chocolatize all enemies. We're gonna distract them with the chocolate. We'll cover them in chocolate. We'll freeze them in chocolate, right? And then either we'll eat them, Brandon,
Of Wirecast.
or we'll let them eat each other, and that's how we get rid of terrorism. Next question.
This one will be my final one, and it kind of is a branch off.
Well, good, because I'll be honest with you, Brandon. You got a lot of questions. Go ahead.
This one is a branch from the last question.
Oh, sorry, Brandon. It took too long. We got to take a quick break. Hang in there. We're going to get back to your question momentarily. We do have to recognize one of our major sponsors. I told you I was going to introduce you to a lot of the endorsers this evening, and we have to take a quick break. Listen, when it's all on the line and winning is the only option, is there any other fucking Air Force in the world that you would go with? I don't think so. It's the U.S. Air Force. That's the only Air Force you go with. When winning is the only option, U.S. Air Force is the answer. Brandon, thank you so much for hanging in there. Go ahead with your question.
Absolutely, Wayne.
Oh, who do we got here? This doesn't sound like Brandon. Who do we got now?
This is Brandon, Phil.
This is who?
This is B. Meyer.
Oh, Brandon, did you just finally hit puberty or something and your voice dropped about 40 decibels, or what happened there?
That was a long sponsorship.
Hey, good for you, Brandon. Your nuts dropped. I'm proud of you. Go ahead with your question.
All right. I'm just going to get right to it. What are we going to do about the evil leader, Justin Bieber? And what are we doing?
First of all, let me address the first part of that question. When you said, let's get right to it. Those were the exact words spoken on the night that I conceived my first child. I was trying to pretend that I was interested, and there was some foreplay in the sense that I cracked like a Miller Lite and tried to pour it in her hair or something. I don't know, it's silly. And she's like, listen, let's just get right to it. And then she slipped me a few roofies. She tied me up, and the next thing I knew I was a father. Getting to the second part of that question, Brandon, and it was a great question again. Great, Brandon, good for you having all the tough questions. I can see why you're going off to school to play basketball because you got a lot of really tough questions there, bud. Okay, listen, if you ever happen to trip into a voting hall, okay, and you actually have to cast a vote, it's the American way. Brandon, my name is not Ted or Billary or Lion Ted. Come on. What do we know about Lion Ted? What's he do, Brandon? Rick, do you know what Lion Ted does?
He lies.
He does. How's he lie, Brandon?
Like a rug.
Like a rug. Good for you, Rick. Great answer.
Stronger man, but I've never met a stronger liar.
Of Wirecast.
Close. Close. I can tell you guys are playing the whisper game where somebody whispers it into one ear and then he whispers it into another, and by the time it gets to you, it's completely fucking mangled. Here's how it goes, Brandon. Lion Ted. Amber, come on in here, Amber. We're live with a lot of the viewers tonight. There's my beautiful wife, Amber. The next Mrs. The American Way. Amber French. Amber, come on in here and say hi to everybody.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Oh, look at she's peeking around the corner there. Look at Is it Halloween already? Good one. Listen, I should have been a stand-up comic. Brandon, getting back to your question. Ted, right? Here's what he does. Raise the Bible in one hand. I will not tell a lie. Set the Bible down. Lie. That's what Ted does. Lots of men. Lots of men stronger. Lots of men stronger than Lion Ted. None a bigger liar. None of them a bigger liar. Brandon, let's get back to your question. I believe it was Rick. Do you remember what his question was?
No.
No, he doesn't remember what your question was, Brandon. And I'll tell you why. Because your questions were horrendous, and that's part of the problem, and that's what we're trying to fix here. But we do. We love you, Brandon. You are important to us here at the American Way. Oh, let me get you, Brandon. Is that you? Go ahead with your question, Brandon.
Wayne.
Yeah, Brandon, go ahead.
Wayne.
Yeah, Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. So you didn't want me to be born, or what?
Okay, is this GM Financial looking for their money again, or who is this?
This is your son, Brendan. Why did you want me dead?
Why'd you have me dead?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Brendo, I'm here. Wow. Brendo, did you just hang up on your father? The American way? You just hung up on me? Rick, can you believe that Brendan just hung up on his father, the next president? He was the next first lady's son. Is that what they? I don't know if that's what they call. Let's see if we can get Brendan back on the phone. We're going to ring out to him. We don't normally ever call out to someone. It's we just don't do that. Nobody's important enough. I mean, everybody's important. Okay, no, not everybody is. But we're going to try to get Brendan back on the phone. Maybe he will grace us by answering. Let's see what we can do here. Brendan is actually going to be going off to cosmetology school, seeking a degree in perms or something this fall. Hold on, let's see if we can get him on the line. Hi, is this Brendo?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, hey, kiddo. Hey, kiddo. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Looking good. Looking real good, son.
I'm looking very well.
Like your dad. Like your dad. Thank God you got
Pure stud. Pure stud.
Thank God you got the French looks.
I know, and the wiener.
And the brains too, kiddo. I ain't gonna lie to you. The Severins aren't that smart. And in fact, I can't even believe I accidentally knocked one of them up. Listen, here's what we're gonna do. Yeah, go ahead, son.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Have you been drinking tonight, sir?
Oh, God. Listen, Brendan, to connect with the citizens of this city especially, and all of this great American way nation, you have to drink. I mean, it's just it's a requirement. Rick, agree?
Absolutely.
There you go. And he's drinking absolute vodka. I mean, that only makes sense that he would say absolutely. Go ahead.
This is a demonstration
Yeah, go ahead.
of Wirecast.
Papa Rick, crap.
Wow, chemical engineering, accelerated 5-year degree. Good for you. Listen, maybe you should go sign up for cosmetology school with Brandon.
What is the best meal you have ever made and the whole family has loved it?
Rick, best meal you ever made, and the whole family loved it. Now, Brendan, is this with or without the shits after consumption?
With.
You can include the shits, Rick. Go ahead.
Here we go. Listen to this crap.
Go ahead, Rick. What was the best meal you ever? Well, if Brendan liked it, it had to be plain. So probably bread, no crust.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Rick, Brendan, and I'm going to be honest with you, Brendan. I agree with Rick here. Rick has never cooked a meal plain enough that you ever would have eaten. So I think it's a trick question.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Much like Ted Cruz would ask. And we all know what I did to Ted Cruz's wife the other night, do we not? We were all at this event, and there was wine, and there was champagne, and then there was wine and champagne all over her butt, and then there was never mind. We won't get into that. Brendan, any other questions this evening?
Yeah, on average.
On average, I'm about a 12.5 limp. Erect.
This is
How
a
big is
demonstration
the
of Wirecast.
average white man's penis hard?
Yeah, and it's not something that I would ever waste any money on at the greatest universities in the world to try to determine, Brendan, and I'll tell you why. Because the white man isn't about the wiener like the black man has to be, because we've got brains instead, and we can use knowledge to combat idiocy through the penis. And I hope that answers your question. Anything else?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Okay, real good. I think we're good here. I've got some messages trickling in through Facebook. We're actually going to take a look at those now. Oh, go ahead, yeah.
I'm gonna have to let you go, but that was unbelievable answers.
Yeah.
And if I have any other questions, can I just text you, or do I have to call you?
No, you don't have to call. You certainly can. You can text them in. You can Facebook them in. You can hashtag the American Way. Man, through Twitter. Anyway you want to get it. Listen, we're about user engagement. That's what we want to do. Get them into us. I undid my zipper and I put my wiener in your mom's butt. I know. Thank you. All right. And in that, Rick, how did you think of? I mean, how do you think Brendan and his buddies did during that line of questioning there? Yeah, I agree. It wasn't very good. What was exceptional during that was what, Rick?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Agree again. My answer's incredible. We got a question coming in from listen, we've got a legend messaging in right now. Lots of you may not know this individual, but actually played a very important role in developing my love and passion for the American way as it is today, and really helped mold me into wanting to help and wanting to be and C and D and E and F and G and H I J K L M N O P. Mr. Patrick Elias. Patrick, listen, Pat, if we get you to call in, maybe we can have a quick talk with you. We're live here. Pat is a founding father of the 28 Plus Club, a very rare group of individuals that have a minimum bicep measurement of 28 inches. Okay? So basically, we're massive. We can break trees over our knees while we sneeze. That was our slogan. I just made that up. It really wasn't. But boy, that rhymed good, didn't it? Didn't it? Speaking of rhymes, I made this beautiful card for my mother today. For today. Why don't we touch on that? Oh, we got a call coming in. Oh my God, it's from a young man.
4 watchers.
It's from a young man. Apparently, this is a genius. We've got genius scientist, future chemical weapons builder for the United States of America under my leadership, Brendan French. Brendan, how are you this evening?
Just call my drag.
Oh, it's Cullen. He cloned Brendan's cell phone information. Cullen is also a genius. He clones cell phone information, and he can basically hack any system in the world. That's why he's going to be on part of my IT security team. Cullen, shoot.
Who's my real dad?
We had 4 viewers. Rick, we had 4?
We had 4.
We had 4 viewers. And Cullen, that's a question that requires at least 20 viewers to reveal. Cullen, if you can get me to 20 viewers, I will answer that question. I will answer any question you have.
One of the viewers will be his father.
Most likely. Most likely he's probably already tuned in, to be honest with you. He could be.
Back up to 4.
He could be.
There's his father.
Hey, let's everybody do this. Everybody strike a pose. Okay. Rick, you want to strike a pose? He just did. He said he didn't want to, but he did. Nobody would know that he didn't. Listen, let's go to one of our sponsors this evening. Listen, we really want to talk about something everybody's using. It protects us. It keeps out the bad. You know what I mean? It keeps things warm and cozy. You know what I'm talking about. Winter hats. Blue ones and yellow from, but it's not about who it's from. It's about winter hats. That's what it's about. And they keep your ears warm, and we recommend everybody wear them in the winter. And they fully support the American Way campaign for president because we're all about the North. Here in Wisconsin, it's cold at night, even in the middle of July. It is so cold outside. Your nipples could cut glass. I've seen it happen. Listen, and this brings me right into my next sponsor. We don't want to waste any time. We've got a lot of sponsors to recognize this evening. Oh, we got a call coming in. Hello, caller. We're going to put that sponsor on hold. Caller, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, caller. We're listening.
This is Noah Antela.
Noah, Norito, the great Norito. What an absolute honor and pleasure and privilege it is to have you on the phone. Norito, answer a question for me. When was the last time you played with your wiener?
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it. You're playing with it right now because you're talking to me. I knew it. Go ahead, Noah.
If you were to become president, what are you going to do with gay marriages? Are you going to just reject it?
Noah, let me tell you something about gay marriage. You know what? Actually, this is a great time to bring one of my experts in. We're going to bring in God. God's always on speed dial for me. We're going to bring God in. We're going to ask him what he thinks about gay marriage. Noah, hang in there. We're going to dial him up. We're going to conference him in. Well, he's in heaven, Noah. Fucking idiot. It's not like he's in Alabama, you fuck. All right, let's see. Rick, it sounded a lot like Mary Had a Little Lamb. You're right, it did. But listen, I don't make the fucking ringtones, do I? No, I don't. I mean, yeah, I could. I'm God-like, but I'm not God.
Hey, who was Mary?
Mary, quite contrary. God, I heard you pick up. Nobody else probably did. God, quick question. And you can text me the answer. You don't even have to say it. I ain't going to make you waste... God, I ain't going to make you waste your breath on such a silly question. How do we feel about gay marriage? Thank you so much for your answer. I already got it here. Actually, because we're on the same brain wavelength, it was almost instantaneous. God feels this way about gay marriage, and I have to agree with him. It's wrong. It is. And gays don't go to heaven like dogs do. All dogs go to heaven, unless it was a gay dog. Then it'll be in hell with the rest of the gays. Moving on. Noah, any other questions this evening?
I have another question.
Is this still Noah?
Yes.
Wow, did your balls just drop too? Your voice sounds a lot deeper all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know. It just happened like a couple of minutes ago. But my second...
Noah, that was my listening face in case you didn't recognize it. Go ahead.
Are you going to make college free or even more expensive?
Well, I think this is a great question, Noah.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Because I think I already answered it, actually, once. And I do apologize. Noah, we don't give things away like Blarney Cinders or whatever his name is wants to do. Because when you give things away, what happens, Noah? And you probably don't know because you were probably given everything in life. Right? You probably never had to earn anything, young man. And that's sad. Right? You're a lot like the black people in prison. You never earned anything your entire life, Noah. And it's time it starts with your education, young man. In fact, if I could, I would triple yours to teach you a lesson in economics. When things are free, it costs other people money. Moving on. It's a terrible question. The worst question we've heard. But it doesn't matter. Noah, thank you so much for that question. I'm glad you asked it because it gave me the chance to, again, remind people what this is all about here. And it's all about one thing. And we know what that is, don't we, Rick?
You.
I don't like to look at it that way, but some anti-American way people could quite possibly misconstrue my agenda to benefit one. And the problem is those people are very nearsighted. And it's unfortunate. Moving on. We've got a phone call coming in. We're going to take that call right now. Hello, we've got a gentleman on the phone. Who is it that we are speaking to, please? Are you there, sir?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Oh, we got him. We got him here. Yes, go ahead. You've got the American Wayne on the line. How can I help you
This
this
is a
evening?
demonstration of Wirecast.
I was just wondering what you're going to do about the healthcare system in America, that's all.
Pat, I want to talk to you. Pat, first of all, thank you so much for everything you've done. Pioneering strength through the individual via bicep as a member of the 28 Plus Club. Good for you. And good for me, too, right? Because I'm a member. We're tough people. Pat, we had to be tough, didn't we?
Yeah, it'd be tough living the south side, yeah.
You live in South Side, you absolutely did.
Demonstration
Pat,
of
would you
Wirecast.
say that the South Side was a tough side of town or the toughest side of town?
Well, when you were as tough as we were, it seemed pretty soft, to be honest with you.
We're going to pretend we didn't hear that. What he meant to say was the South Side was the toughest. We're going to put him down for toughest. It was an uncomfortable question for him. He doesn't like to brag. Pat, thank you for being honest and for being so being humble.
This is
Being
a
humble with
demonstration
yourself.
of
Good for you.
Wirecast.
But hey, listen, I give the tough answers, Pat. That's what I do. And let me start with your health care question here and give you a tough answer. First of all, what is it? Is it Osama care? Is that Osama bin Laden care? Is that what we got here? I mean, anytime you let Osama bin Laden come into your country and start a universal health care program, it's a zero. It's a loser. Okay, Democrats? Okay, Democrats?
This is a
Oh, go ahead, Pat.
demonstration
Be
of
honest with you.
Wirecast.
I'll just be honest with you. When Barack Obama...
Osama bin Laden Obama?
Yeah, well, that's what I thought the first time. I was like, why the fuck would Osama bin Laden run for fucking president over here?
He's a Muslim.
Likes him.
He's a Muslim, Pat. And Pat, he's the worst. Pat, let me tell you why he's the worst kind of Muslim. You know why? Because that's right, black Muslim. Go ahead. Yeah, he's a black Muslim. That's why he's the worst kind.
This
In
is a
case you didn't hear.
demonstration
Pat,
of
I'll tell you what's going to
Wirecast.
happen. First of all, we're going to give everybody their money back. That's what we're going to do. Everybody that Osama bin Laden stole money from here in America through the name of Barack Obama will be reimbursed every dollar they wasted on this this universal crap care program that somehow he tricked. That's right, folks. He tricked your elected politicians into believing in this program to the degree that they
Demonstration
voted
of
it in.
Wirecast.
Those are not the people that... Pat, go ahead.
So what's your view on Ted Cruz dropping out of the race?
I think it's long overdue, Pat, much like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and Blarney Sanders and Fred Flintstone.
K6 to win it then. Why is K6 to win it then?
K-Sick reminds me of a disease that you scrape off in the morning before you go to work. Isn't that what that is? Which doesn't matter either way because I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, which reminds me
This is a demonstration of
to
Wirecast.
introduce our next major sponsor, bags. It's all about bags. Right? When a box won't do and you've had some beef stew, put it in a bag. That's what you do.
No, a bagel. Well, a bagel.
That's exactly right, Pat. Thank you. Pat, we're going to hire you. You're going to be executive in charge of obviously
This is a demonstration
bagging
of Wirecast.
because you just nailed it.
The rhyming stuff.
Well, you knocked it out of the park, Pat, and that's what we're proud of, as people that can knock the ball out of the park by being smart and strong. Let's not forget 28 plus, right? Pat, any other questions that I can help you out with this evening?
Not so much.
Well, Pat, then let's reflect, if you don't mind. There was a time, a long time ago, you and I, we were really cool.
This is a
You know what I mean?
demonstration of Wirecast.
You know what I mean? And then 20 to 30 years later, there was another time, Pat, and you and I were both really super cool. Good for you, and God bless you, my man. Don't ever hesitate to call in. Listen, Pat, did you want to just hang on the line here while we kind of go through some things? You can give us your opinion as we approach.
I'll just go back to the live feed there.
All right, real good. Pat, call your grandma. Let your mom know. Tell your dad. Get online. Get the kids up. Get the moms up. Get the dads up. We've got a lot to get through yet. This just started. This is just starting. Okay? Thank you, Pat. Give a call back. Love you. Goodbye. And hey, let's all listen. Wayniac Nation, this is important you understand this. That was Patrick Eliason of Greater South Side Superior, where you weren't just tough. You were the toughest. That's what you were. You weren't tough when you grew up on the Greater South Side of Superior, Wisconsin. You had to be the toughest. You set the tone. You painted, you made black black. You made white white, right? People would bleed red because of you. Anyway, we're going to move on. And we're going to move, and we got to acknowledge some of our sponsors. Rick, who's next on the list here? Looks like it's Henry's. Hey, when a Jerry's won't do, Henry's will. Everybody knows that about Henry's. Henry's has been making some of the world's greatest hard sodas since 19... Does it matter? I don't think it matters, does it? Rick, does it matter? Not much. It don't matter. It don't matter. But what they do say is that you should be of proper age before consumption. Okay? Now, I want to talk to you about proper age. It's an important topic. It's one of the topics I wanted to touch on this evening. Proper age is... There's a law, right? There's a law that says what proper age is, but I want to talk about interpretation. Okay? It's how you interpret what creates the law. And when the law is created around, well, when they're that old, they should be, mentally and physically capable. Okay? There's a lot of people that before that age are mentally and physically capable, and why should they have to wait? Why? Why should they be punished and not be able to get completely drunk, fall down in a ditch and break their ankle, right? Or fall down and slip their wiener into a vaginal crease and get a girl pregnant?
This is a demonstration.
Right? Why should they have to wait till they're 21 to do those things? Those are transforming people into men. Okay? And people shouldn't have to wait to be a man. And I think Pat probably could explain this best to us. Pat understands. And I know what he would say.
This is a demonstration.
We met Pat earlier. Pat would say that emotional growth stops at consumption. But that's where the fun starts. What's more important? Emotional growth or fun? Right? It's a trick question, folks. Obviously, fun is more important. It's like what's more important? Making a sandwich for lunch or having a couple of tappers
This is a demonstration
at
of Wirecast.
the wide world of wings. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Okay? You can have sex with the 1 or the 10. Only certain people pick the 1, and those are the really drunk, desperate people at the bar that have to slip themselves the roofies. Right? So they can be taken advantage of. Stupid. Simple stuff. Simple stuff, and that's what, that's what we do. We're going to talk about bullying. We're going to touch on that. We're going to go to the sponsors. Who do we got here? Holy crap. I mean, it only makes sense that we continue with the theme Hey, if you're mentally and physically strong enough to drink, drink. That's all I got to say. Moving on. I really wanted to talk about these guys. These guys have been doing some amazing things for the American Way campaign for president. We're really happy with what they're doing.
Demonstration of wire.
Weber grills. I don't know if you guys can see or hear or do any of this, but we actually cooked 75 pounds of hamburger earlier today. 75 pounds of hamburger in 20 minutes for the entire American Way campaign for president team. All, listen to this.
This is a demonstration of
Take a breath,
Wirecast.
folks. All 22,000 of us ate. And that's what Weber does. You take 75 pounds of hamburger, you cook it on a Weber grill in 22 minutes, and it feeds how many thousands of people, Rick? 22,000 people to eat off that. Absolutely amazing work. Weber, you got to use the Weber charcoal. You can use generic lighter fluid because, let's face it, gas is gas. It is.
This
You can't.
is a demonstration of
Listen,
Wirecast.
Weber, I like what you're doing. Great products, grills, charcoal. I've wavered. I have, sadly. And I tell myself every time I do, I will never make that mistake again. But yet I still do once in a while. I guess that's the idiot that all of us, we get punched in the face by him every once in a while. But listen, Weber, grills, charcoal, top notch. But you can't trick us with fluid. I mean, my urine probably has as much alcohol in it and flammability as your fluid does. I could piss on the coal and get the same result as your fluid would produce. Oh, my God. What do we got here? We've got a very important member of the American Way campaign for president team making his way through the room right now. And that is a one Mr. Ricky Rochon Jr. Richard, how are you this morning?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Typically, he's a heckler. We've got to get him removed. We have security around him up. We got to get him out of here. You know what he likes? Fear Factor. He likes Fear Factor. I watch it with him. I don't know that either one of us could compete. I don't know that either one of us could even get through a round. But I do know this. He knows a lot about the show Cops. And he will be my chief of security when I am sworn into office, because nobody
This is a demonstration
in the
of
world
Wirecast.
Nobody has watched more Cops than that guy right there. And to have his running Cops episode knowledge only makes him the right choice for this country's chief of security. And if you can't get behind that, then you couldn't get behind the thing that has to be in front of you.
This is a
It's pretty simple. Isn't that not simple, Rick?
Absolutely.
And that's the type of vodka he drinks, Absolute. And then he just adds the Lee. So, moving on, it's an uncomfortable subject. We won't continue to talk about that. But I'm getting back to Mother's Day. And I just wanted to let you guys know, again, if you approach Mother's Day like I do, which is every day is Mother's Day, your life will be glorious. And you'll find yourself
Demonstration of Wirecast.
in great spots, changing the world. Have we lost all of our viewers?
Up to 5 here.
Oh, we're up to 5 viewers. Listen, if you are able to hear, see, listen, share, we need viewers, okay? If we can get up to 10 viewers, I'm going to answer Cullen's tough questions. Cullen wants to know. Do you guys not want Cullen to know? Nobody cares about Cullen? Is that the problem? Cullen,
This is a
People don't
demonstration
like
of
you?
Wirecast.
why? Maybe that's the question we should try to answer. Why don't people like Cullen? Okay? I mean, we need to get
I think Colin hung up.
the information out there. We do. Okay? You tweet #Y with a question
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
about Cullen. I will try to answer the question about Cullen, but let me tell you what's really important here is getting Cullen's questions answered. So what you should do is get your moms and your dads and your aunts and your uncles. And that's right, like grandma and grandpa ain't even. You could wake up grandma and grandpa right now. You could tell them that the sun crashed into Mars, and it'll never be bright out again, and that it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and old people are so dumb they believe it. Rick, you agree?
Absolutely.
Listen, I think we're getting something out of this here. Things are happening. Things are changing. You can feel it. You can smell it at times, can't you? Breathe it in. Eat it. Breathe it in. You can taste it. It's thick. The stink is thick. You can smell it. You can taste it.
This is a
Change is
demonstration of
coming.
Wirecast.
Rick's proving it. Rick, why?
Because.
And it's because why?
That's why.
And because. Absolutely, is what he meant to say. And he, you know why he didn't say that? Because he knew. He did know. And he just wanted to hear me say, because I hadn't said it yet. And normally by this point in the evening, I have said it. So I apologize for that, Rick. I didn't mean to do that to you. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you for everything you've done. Looks like we're getting a little bit of action here on the Facebook feeds. You know, the Facebook feeds are interesting. I'll tell you what happened yesterday. I was at my sister's delivery, and she's not a mail lady, okay? She isn't a UPS driver. She don't work for FedEx, and she doesn't serve warrants.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Nor does she bring you your Chinese food or your pizzas. She does not. She was actually bringing into this world one of the, probably what will end up being one of the greatest Wayniacs that this country will ever know. Somebody I like to call Little K-Way. Now, that's not his name. I call him that. I also call him Little Camera Wayno.
This is a demonstration
Okay.
of Wirecast.
We call him K-Dubs. K-Dubs. We call him, some would call him Cameron Wayne, which I guess is official name, which is in debate. I don't know that that's been signed off on yet. What's that, Ricky? What are you looking for, bud? I'm pretty sure Ricky just asked if there was any Coke. All right. And Little K-Way.
Demonstration of
It was a
Wirecast.
long day yesterday. Moving on. It's an uncomfortable subject. Listen, let's get back to Rumple Mints. When your Rumple is a Mints, what is it? Rick?
Rumplements.
That's exactly right. And if your vodka is perfect, what do you got?
Absolutely.
This is a demonstration
Yes, you do.
of Wirecast.
Yes, you do. Okay. All right. Let's take a look and see what we got going on here. Looks like we got a little bit of action here on the Twitter account. We're going to see if that is any questions from the crowd or the observers. We really want to handle all their concerns. Oh, okay, sure. So about 3 minutes ago, through the Twitter feed, why? Which was the tag we were using for questions about
This
Coltart.
is a demonstration
And I
of
call him that
Wirecast.
because I love him. Right? And I love him. Well, I can't explain why I love him. Probably just because I've known him for so long. I did watch him get dropped on his head as a young man. But we won't talk about that. Why is Cullen a stud? Well, a stud, by definition, is a piece of wood that supports. Is that a stud, Rick? Yeah, it gave me the thumbs up. And the thumbs up also means absolutely. You can't see it, but I'll let you know. Anytime I see Rick gave the thumbs up, it means he said absolutely. So a stud is a piece of wood that supports. Why is Cullen a piece of wood that supports? Well, I'll tell you why. Because people need wood. And people need support. And without the Cullens, those people wouldn't get what they need. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Thank you for the question. Thank you so much for the question. Moving along, I believe we've got something trickling in here from the Facebook feed. First, let's talk about speed limits. Okay? I know this gal, I work with her. If stupid were fast, she'd be a rocket ship. Right? I ain't kidding you. Or like a jet plane or a spaceship, right? If stupid were fast, I think that's what I said. If stupid were fast, she would be a rocket ship, Pat, and that's what I want you to understand when it comes to speed. If it's related to stupidity, the slower the better. Nazi Whiteout. Yes, indeed, Pat. I'm glad that you have brought him into the conversation. First of all, let me say how much and how proud I am to welcome into the Viking Nation the German Rookie of the Year, the German Randy Moss. Okay? That's who we're talking about here. The Vikings draft pick, 6'4", 240 pounds, 4.4. 40 speed. Speaking of stupid fast rocket ships, the Vikings just picked one up. They just picked one up. And the only reason it's stupid is because he's so goddamn fast. And if you could all say his name with me. It's something like if you fart in a bathtub, it's like Bortz or something like that. But good for him. And this guy is so happy. He's actually working with my language teams, my language specialists. We're getting him. We want him to be up to speed on the English language. We don't want him being tricked by Americans that would support like Ted Cruz or the Green Bay Packers or those types of people. So he's working with my language teams. We're getting him up to speed, and it's going to be amazing. We love him. We wish him the best, and he will be a star. That's what he will be. Pat, I hope that helps. And if there's more you'd like to know, I'd be happy to go on about him because he is something else. And thank you for that question because that's an important question. Listen, it looks like things may be quieting down a little bit. You know what I want to do? I want to send out some happy birthdays. That's what I want to do. I want to send out some happy birthdays. First, let me wish a happy 0th birthday to my newest nephew, Cameron Wayne. And let me congratulate my sister for the amazing job she did yesterday, bringing him into this world while some higher power thought it would be funny to poison her with terrible pain and suffering while she did it.
This is a demonstration
and that's
of
Ted Cruz's God, not mine. But let me. There's some other birthdays. Phil Rowe. Did you have a birthday? Granted, it ended 51 minutes ago, Phil. But happy birthday to you. Listen, love what you're doing. Just try to do it a little better. Moving on. There's one other person that I'd like to recognize through the birthday wishes this evening. And that would be a one Olivia. Happy birthday. I know, again, it was 51 minutes ago, as was Phil's and Cameron's, but it's like happy late birthdays. So good for you. Keep aging. Everybody get older. And don't forget, if you trip into a voting booth or you accidentally come across one or somehow you are tricked into one, you look for one name only, The American Way.
This is a
Very good.
demonstration of
Listen,
Wirecast.
it looks like things are quieting down just a little bit. If we've had enough, we don't want to overstay our welcome. So, with just the two of us, Purple Man go to kill you, yo. Okay. I don't know. That was a message we got. The cat. Okay. So, Pocket Sand. Let's say, Pocket Sand. I'm not sure who that is. His parents used a Weber grill as his baby crib. Good for him. What a comfy crib that must have been. The curvature on a Weber grill and the warmth. And the warmth with the coal. Right, with the coal and everything. We're up to, hey, we're boosted back up. We're boosted back up. Listen, if you're just getting online now, you're just dialing in, it's hashtag The American Way on the Twitter feed. Get us your questions. Facebook, you can PM us, you can post on our wall, hit us up. We are taking all the tough questions. We're giving all the tough answers, and our answers are always right, too, by the way. We have never given a wrong answer because our answers are generated from you, the people. And if the people are making the decisions, then they can never be wrong. Ever. They can never be wrong. I'm sorry. I have to let you guys all know what just happened here. Mrs. Future. American Way. Campaign for president. Mrs. Amber French just told me to hurry up. I don't know what she means. Normally I only hear that in bed. Amber, what would you like me to hurry up with, sweetie? Mother's Day, Brendan, what did I tell you to do at midnight today? If you're still listening, Brendan, I gave you one order. In your 18 years of life, I told you to do one thing. And that was call your mom at midnight tonight and wish her a happy Mother's Day. Did you do it? I know you didn't. You want to know how I know you didn't? Because you were on the phone with me and we were probably making fun of Muslims. But good for you. Amber, Brendan wants you to know happy birthday. He told me to tell you that. I just got this very strange look from her. I don't know if she's constipated or if there's something else going on there. I don't know if it's a medical concern. I don't know. Luckily, we've got staff and we've got personnel that can handle those types of scenarios. And I do not have to rush to her aid. That's what's important. And you know what else is important? The American Way. And that's what it's all about. Listen, I've got to... I know. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to see it come to an end. But here's what I always think about. When things come to an end...
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
It gives opportunity the chance to start. And start rhymes with chocolate. And chocolate is what's going to be used by Hershey's to build the wall that's going to protect this country from the illegals, making this country stronger, reducing taxes,
This is a demonstration
and getting
of
things
Wirecast.
back to where they ought to be. The American Way. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want you to know we have been online for 1 hour, 36 minutes, 6 seconds when in all reality is a total time of 3 hours because it took me an hour and a half just to get online. It's crazy. The stream health is good. We had viewers. Colin, we never got to 10. Your questions go unanswered, my man. Oh, look what we got here. What do we got here? Jim, this is my James French. This is the chief of everything. He's my man. This is what he does. He takes care of me. We call him the chief. He's the chief. He's the chief. Jim, get over here. Say hi to everybody. Hey. Okay, you don't have to get over. Did you hear? Maybe you can say hey again.
Hello.
That's Jim. He says hello, and he says it with an H, and he ends it with an O, and that's how the American way campaign for president would say it. So we know that this guy bleeds red, white, and blue, and that he has sex with women, because if he didn't, then he wouldn't be part of my team. Jim, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you did today that made America great and started moving us forward and started progressing us towards the things that are important to us. Go ahead.
I took a bunch of garbage and threw it in the neighbor's yard.
Listen, what are neighbors for? If you can't take your trash, and when I say trash, I mean things like the hooker's underwear, or never mind. We're not going to get into these things tonight. That's for a different time on a different channel. You can tune into that channel if I ever get it running. It'll probably take me 4 weeks. But we're going to do this again. We're going to do. Hey, Jim hooked it up. Okay? And that's what's important here today. Jim, did you hook it up?
Yes, I did hook it up.
You heard it here first, folks. And if you didn't hear it here, you didn't hear it. And if you did hear it and it wasn't here, it didn't matter. That's what's important. And that's what we're going to do. Listen, thank you again. We love you. We're grateful. Cullen, if you can get me to 10 viewers, I'll tell you all the tough answers. That's what I do. God bless you. I'm going to go see what my wife wanted. Typically, it's just the dick. God bless you all. Good night. Have a good evening.